Yes, everybody, it's back. We're back. Sweet Hootin' rebootin'. The collaboration with the Devil's Mouth is not dead. No, we're not that old yet.
No.
But we
Despite
came up. Yeah. We're losing here.
No, we are in sync even in that now.
But your glasses are a little too small.
Yeah, I need to lose a little bit more sight, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So so we're back. We didn't want to take a long break. It just happened because Jose has so much on his plate. For me, it was the end of a school year, which is always busy and hectic. And I think we also had to prepare enough stuff for example, that little festival that we always talk about. We're very happy that I at least saw Jose for a brief moment during those 4 days.
Yeah, we mostly met in between venues, right?
Yeah.
We did that cross journey from one to another. Yeah.
Which is always the case at Roadburn.
But yeah,
right?
it was
if you don't set a date,
hiatus that we had.
So, but I of course have to ask, which gig was your favorite at Roadburn?
Oh, that's a huge question.
No, for me it's 100% easy.
I was not prepared.
Shall I go first?
For that question.
Shall I go first?
Yeah. That'll give me a few more seconds.
Mine was very easily Backwash. 2 reasons. First of all, gigantic performance, really awesome. And second of all, I think that is one of the little puzzle pieces that, at least for me, in this way, in the way that it was done, had been missing at Roadburn. Because, I mean, like, you know that I love Dalek and I love some abstract hip-hop. But that was, in a way, I don't want to say old school hip-hop, but the music was punchy. It was not only relying on heaviness, and yet the way that it was delivered, it was one of the best hip-hop or rap shows that I've ever seen. So therefore, Backwash, out of all the great gigs that I saw this year, Backwash is the one that sticks out most to me.
I agree. When you asked me, one of the ones that popped up immediately was the Backwash show. So that, alongside that very metal pair at the end of one of the evenings, Spirit Possession and Antichrist Siege Machine, both at the Hall of Fame. Also, Mama Leak was amazing to see them finally.
Yeah, don't get me started. I have to leave. I had to leave before it. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, I know. But that's also something that I heard.
So
that's also something that I heard. It must have been a gigantic performance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so, Ken Mode also, and so much stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Mode was also amazing. I already listened to the new record coming up in a few weeks, and I must say,
yeah,
they really, I don't want to say they outdid themselves, because now the first part of it is already awesome, but Void does not lack any of that ferocity. So it's got to be a big one this year.
Just get better and better.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Even though they don't even change that much, but it's just something about it. I honestly think that the addition of, I forgot her name. I'm very, very sorry. If you see this, mea culpa, mea maxima. I forgot. Allison? I don't remember her name, but I know that she plays a lot of instruments, and that I know that she makes the sound much more well-rounded, and that is just awesome, honestly. Unbelievably good.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't want to be the old guys reminiscent too much. But we want to give you 2 playlists, and my co-host here maybe can explain the theme a little bit.
Well, my theme is very easy and very lazy. We are, if memory doesn't betray me, we already did something having to do with winter and the mood of the seasons early on in the collaboration. So because summer is on, and because I intensely dislike summer, especially summer in my country, where it's been stupidly hot now in many countries also. Climate change is really going to ruin summer for everyone eventually. For me, it was already ruined to begin with. So I thought I would do a summer playlist, but without the happiness and joy that usually is a part of the summer mood. So I picked a bunch of very literal summer songs. Most of them have summer in the title, all of them apart from one, I think.
Yeah,
And they
and
are
that one is
either
the first one.
melancholic or sad. Yeah, exactly. Which was the one that actually inspired everything. Goddamn the Sun by Swans. So yeah, they're either sad or melancholic or just awful, or not what you usually associate with the image of summer. And I thought that would be funny.
I have to roast you for one very
Not
too
much more
obvious
to it than
choice.
this.
I have to roast you for
Shoot.
choosing Lana Del Rey's "Summertime Sadness." That song is just played way too often by
Actually,
now,
right?
but it fits, of course. It fits perfectly. I also like the
I
addition
was
of
very
some.
honest with this list, I have to say.
Yeah, that is cool. That is
I
cool.
did not. What's the
But
other
you,
one?
no. That is just the only one that I have to roast you on.
Okay.
I like, I like that you sometimes chose songs that either don't pop up too quickly because they're on an album which has like too many hits. Just like Refused, you got
Yeah.
Summer Holidays versus Punk Routines. Which is funny because I only yesterday talked to somebody about that record. And of course, that is not the obvious choice.
I had a reply, an auto reply by someone today on an email, a Swedish person that I emailed, and their holiday auto reply was Summer Holidays versus Punk Routine. There's something happening here.
Which
esoteric.
might be the best auto reply ever, right?
Agreed. That too.
Yeah, and I mean, like the most obvious choice from that album is, of course, New Noise, which also has been played to death. But I like that you chose that one. That is also one of the records that I probably will never ever tire of. Every song is a killer. Every song is a killer. And then I liked it. I mean, like, of course, you wanted to go with a summer word theme, but there are also some tracks on it which are from records that are either underestimated because of the vast genre of the artist, or that are in a little way not too representative. Let's put it like that. The one that comes to my mind is the last one, The Last Day of Summer, which is of course a very nice choice. The last track of the album is The Last Day of Summer, by The Cure from Bloodflowers. I don't want to say it's a highly underrated album, but it's usually not the one that comes to mind when you think about The Cure, right?
Never pops up when you mention the classics or anything. And yeah, I was going with the summer thing, but I was very happy that this song was on this record because I have a massive passion for this album. Not to say that it's the best or anything. Of course, everyone knows the classics and their importance, but today, if I put on a Cure record, more often than not, I find myself going with Bloodflowers first. It has aged wonderfully well. Yeah. It doesn't have that overplaying capacity that some of the others have. Yeah. It still feels fresh, and it's a fantastic record from beginning to end. So yeah,
do you think that it would have
on that?
Do you think that more people would consider it a classic if it had been published, let's say, 12, 13, 14 years earlier? Because it was published in 2000, I still remember it. And I heard a lot of people back then who said like, I'm a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, I remember that. I bought it as it came out, and I don't want to. Oh, I was a visionary. No, I instantly loved it from the beginning as much as I love the others, which doesn't always happen with these things, and it's normal. It's not a part of the band's golden age. So, but yeah, in this case, I think that's really the only reason why it's not put up against the others in the same way, because there are several other examples of bands with records like that. You have Venom, to pick up the most obvious one from me, with Cast in Stone, which was that brief reunion of the original lineup in the early 2000s, and that's for me is as good as the classic Venom records, and no one talks about it. So, and there's several more like that. So that's always a curious exercise to make, right? You never know what would have happened, but given the quality of the record in question, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like, we also have to agree that very often comeback records just simply don't do justice to the bands.
They suck. Yeah, sometimes they suck.
More often than not, right? I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, like, think about.
I never let myself have too many expectations with that sort of thing, no matter how I love the band.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about the two versions of Omar Rodriguez and Cedric Silvala. You know, the At the Drive-In comeback was
underwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I also, for everybody out there who loves the latest Mars Volta, I don't. I don't know why. You do?
My album of the year last year.
I just can't. Maybe here I'm the old guy who says, like, it lacks the ferocity. But it's just me. It can be just me.
Yeah. I totally get it. It's not a record for everyone. Not everyone expects or even wants that kind of record from that band. For me, it pushed all the right. I don't want ferocity in this album. You know, after hearing it, I'm like, it's fine like that. Leave it be. But I get it absolutely that it's not for everyone. It's been divisive, and it's usually divisive like this. Either it's the album of the year for you, like it was for me, or it didn't connect. There's no middle ground from the opinions I've heard of that album. Yeah,
of that album definitely. But I mean, like, there are also other comeback albums which are neither overwhelming nor overly good, over enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I liked Refused comeback album, Elektra. That was a good album, but you know, also the Pixies record after they came back, good albums, but it's just this looming thing.
The At the Gates comeback album, I massively love At the Gates. I love the ones they did after. The last one is amazing, but the comeback one didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. And sometimes you also notice that after a comeback, bands need some time. I mean, like, the first one or two Swans records after the hiatus were okay, tending to good, but the new one is definitely a highlight this year, at least for me.
It is, yeah.
And then you chose a track from a record which most fans of that band will kill you for. You chose Year of Summer from the record Host by Paradise Lost. And I'm already ducking away for all the shit thrown at us.
I don't care. I've always loved that album, even back then when everyone was throwing shit at it. I absolutely love it. And I love that they didn't care, and now they did a band that sounds like that. I love it. Love it.
and I mean, like, there are moments on that record which I really, really like. But when it came out, I already liked the album, and I still do. I always wonder if a different band name for that as a different project would not have been better, and might not have led to more albums like that. I would have loved to see them go in that direction a little bit more.
Maybe this Host, the band that they have now, would have appeared earlier if they had done that.
Yeah.
Although I strangely think that it fits, because it's not the only very different album that they have in their discography. 1 Second is completely different. Symbol of Life is completely different. Draconian Times is completely different from what they're doing now. Tragic Idol has nothing to do with Gothic. They've always been a band like that. But this record being more to the pop side of things, ruffled a few more feathers in metal, and I
Yeah.
think that's great.
I think what a lot of when thinking about what you just said, I think what a lot of people forget about Paradise Lost is that they have always been very well at placing Nick's voice in a certain spot. And if you look at the way that they've done that over the years,
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, I think there is not much difference between Draconian Times and Host. When you look at the position of a voice within the mix and everything, that is very, very
That's
similar.
the thing. Yeah, yeah. They're very different records in appearance, but fundamentally, they're the same. I
Yeah.
remember an interview that Greg gave. It was a Terrorizer interview when Host came out, and he said two crucial things for understanding this record, if anyone's still having trouble all these years after. First of all, most of what you hear is guitar. There's much less synths on this record than you think. A lot of those things is just guitar being processed weirdly through pedals and effects and things. Secondly, it's still miserable. And that's the core of the band. It's still miserable music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it's true. I mean, like, think of the lead single that they had. It was So Much Is Lost. I mean, like, it's
exactly.
You cannot choose a more programmatic
So much is
single.
Lost, so much disharmony. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As if I'm very sure they knew which backlash they would get for that record. And basically with a single, they already said, choose one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like the fact that you basically took the soundtrack to a theater play, Black Rider, by Tom Waits. You took The Last Rose of the Summer. Great record. We don't have to talk about the voice. Mesmerizing. And again, a record that a lot of people underestimate, I think.
Yeah, because it's one of the in-betweens, right? It's not old blues Tom Waits, and it's still not mad experimental Tom Waits. It's there in between the two things. Yeah.
I just have to look at it because I know that there was a single from that record that I love, or a song from that record that I loved dearly. I don't remember which one it was, but I know that there was a single that, or a one track that was taken from a record. It could have been Gospel Train, but I'm not sure. But that's a very good record. Yeah. Mr. Santos also smuggled in a little bit of very old timers, Townes Van Zandt and Roy Orbison, Elvis Costello, aforementioned Mr. Waits. Yeah, we're getting old, ain't we?
Yes, we are. Not as old as these people, but we are.
Yes.
Yeah, as I told you, it's very honest. I didn't give any consideration to overplaying or being a classic or being underground or genre. No, it's just stuff I love. It's just stuff I love, and at its summer miserable mood.
Yeah, basically. It is. I'm just looking for it. I'm like, oh, good. Yeah, don't look for sunshine on that one. Yeah, and then I did my own. And Mr. Santos, what's your reaction to my choices?
My reaction is that we have sometimes so much similarity in our tastes. If you had told me, give me your favorite pop punk or whatever you want to call it bands, they're all here in your list. There is Boy Sets Fire, there's Alkaline Trio, there is Sam I Am, my absolute favorite. There is Hot Water Music, Avail. I also love Tim's solo folky stuff.
Oh yeah.
As Friends Rust, even the more not so well known ones. Everything is here. Love it to bits. And according to your theme, which you will explain in a second, there is one song every two songs that and I know some of them, but a lot of them I don't know, and I'm going to have, because I haven't heard the entire playlist yet, but I'm going to have a huge pleasure discovering some of these
Yeah.
German bands. But
Yeah, I
will
was
have to-
even trying. I now have a length of 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was trying to find other tracks to get it to 2:22. I just didn't have enough time. The concept behind it is very easy. I mean, like summer songs, you know, stuff that you listen to while you're on the road, you know, that everyone in the family can listen to. That even the daughter and the wife say, "Oh, it's okay, Dad. It's okay." So many of those tracks are between 20 and 30 years old. I'll just have to check. Yeah, there are some 30 years. Like I have Jawbreaker in there, some Face to Face, Avail, as Jose mentioned. So there are a lot of songs from records that are 25 plus years old. Of course, you know, which songs do you choose? You choose songs that you listened to when I was that age, 20 to, let's say, 25, 30. Sometimes I try to choose not the most obvious tracks. For example, with As Friends Rust, I didn't choose some of the earlier stuff. I chose a record from an EP that I love, a Young Trophy Band in the Midst of the Troubling Times. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful song on there. For Ignite, I didn't choose one of the earlier ones. I chose Nothing Can Stop Me, because I think, you know, when you're on the road, I think that's the stuff you want to listen to. And now comes the fun part. I alternated it. It's always an international band, a German band, international band, German band, international band, and so on and so forth. And I confused Jose a little bit with sometimes choosing German bands, sing it in German, and sometimes choosing German bands that sing in English.
Yeah, I didn't spot it immediately because there are bands here that I didn't even know were German, to be honest.
Which one, for example?
Some of the English-speaking ones.
Let me guess, Waterdown.
My Hero Died Today, just the first one, straight up. I know the band, but not deeply, and I had no idea they were German. And yeah, Waterdown also. I didn't know these bands were German. So yeah.
Yeah, with My Hero Died
But then
Today,
you start to get into all the German titles. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I also come back to some English ones. No, I had to choose Waterdown for my old friend Christian Kruse, who's in there. So Waterdown, I think. I still say if you want to find out where Funeral for a Friend found their roots, listen to Waterdown. My Hero Died Today, I had to take that one. Oh, I thought you would have made the connection. The bass player in My Hero Died Today is the bass player now in Boys That's Fire. Robert from My Hero Died Today. So that was his first band, his first bigger band.
Right. Okay. I really appreciate the Sam I Am song that you chose. You were perhaps affected by my summer miserable mood.
No, it's just my favorite Sam I Am track ever.
Really harsh.
Yeah, if you listen to the lyrics, it's really hard, but it's just my all-time favorite Sam I Am track ever.
But it's such a sing-alongy song, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
The chorus is just irresistible.
Yeah. And I still remember I saw them live, when was it? Last year or the year before, when they were on tour with Boys That's Fire. And I went there with our webmaster, with Sebastian, and I told them, if they play dull, you need my glasses. And somewhere in the middle, I'm just like, take them.
There you go. That's right.
And I also
I did a podcast episode with Sergei Lubkov, the Sam I Am guitarist, and it was a wonderful episode. He's such a great guy.
Yeah, it was funny. I did the interview with Steve Fontil a few weeks ago, and I mean, like, you know, that we always have this quick fire round at the end of every interview, and I was very mean to Steve because I asked them, okay, Green Day or Sam I Am, and he looked at me like, because they all played at the Gilman Street before they got big. And
Yeah,
Steve's,
I remember a lot of show posters with the Green Day opening for Neurosis and the other way around. Yeah, yeah. They're part
and
of the
he
Oakland scene way back then.
definitely, and the only reason for his choice was entertainer's qualities. And then he chose Green Day. And I have to admit, I love Sam.I.Am. I love them more than I do Green Day. But if I had to choose for entertainment value, Green Day always wins.
If that's the criteria, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Green Day myself too. No worry at all with them. Although Sam.I.Am is my favorite band of this style. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And I also wasn't afraid to put in a few cover songs, because I think, you know, during summer, some sing-alongs are always nice. And I'm really looking forward to the reply of a lot of people to those covers. You know, Stretch Armstrong doing, was it NWA or was it Public Enemy, Express Yourself? I don't remember what the original is, but you know, a punk core band playing a hip hop track is always cool.
It's NWA. I just cheated.
It's NWA. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I had I knew that I wanted to end with the Beatsteaks. And I had a hard time finding the appropriate German song, but when I took the easy route and chose Hey Du, everybody in Germany knows that song because it by now has been done in so many different shapes and forms. But the first one to cover it and to give it more popularity than it originally had are the Beatsteaks, because originally that is a song from a musical that has only ever been played and staged in the former German Democratic Republic. So nobody in the Western Hemisphere basically knew about it. And that's also what I like about it. And that's something, you know, when I do a playlist and when I think of me 20 years ago, I'm sorry, but there had to be some, I want to kick some Nazi butt songs.
Yes.
And I have a few of them in there.
And we still maintain that feeling.
Yes,
yeah, I still kick Nazi butts. Yeah, that's a universal feeling. Age as well.
And it's a good one. And it will also be interesting for everybody, and including Mr. Santos. I give you 2 bits of homework. Find out the German song, which has an English title but isn't English in the lyrics.
Okay.
And there is a song by the Donuts on there. Their first single, Outshine the World. Listen to it and find out from which movie the vocal part or that little extract is taken from. If you know that, write it underneath here to show that you are the fastest and the coolest. And for everybody else, you can already give us ideas for the October playlist, because I got one for the September playlist. And I know that Jose will like it.
Should we try to up the stakes here? If the first person to guess both of those in the comments gets to pick my theme for the next playlist.
That's cool. Right? So that's a good thing. The first person to find out the German band singing German but with an English title, and from which movie is the movie extract or the little snippet in Outshine the World. If you find out both things, and if you're the fastest, you choose Jose's topic for October.
Yours. My topic is yours for next month. So have at it underneath here. Comment now.
Yes. I'm already worried.
I think we will regret this.
No, you, not me.
Like a fun idea. You will have to reply to it, so you will get a bit of the flack as well.
Yeah, but I'll try to squeeze my stuff into there anyway I do. But I already have one for September, folks, and I'm very curious what Jose will choose for Ven, by now you have the usual way. Go to Jose's Substack, read what he tells you and what he finds for you. If you like our stuff, then give us a little subscription here on the Veil of Sound YouTube channel. It would be cool if you went to both spaces on Facebook for The Devil's Mouth and for Veil of Sound. Hit the like button or give us a follow, comment, and we'll see you in about 4 weeks. And by then,
Yes.
enjoy the sound of summer wind in Jose's hair.